What up, Ski, and welcome to BarVibes Wirth BriceTheFourth, giving out raw reactions and interacting with the masses. No subject is safe. You hear the people, and you'll hear the noises, but that's the point, because without the people, what's the point? Embrace the vibrations. You gotta get it done. First and foremost, shout out to Delaware for hosting the BMW Championship Tournament this year. It's the longest running regular PGA Tour outside of the 4 major tournaments, and they let it happen in the first state, Diamond. Now, it isn't great for Delaware traffic. I don't personally drive, so it doesn't affect me, but I'm sure there are a plethora of people out there who don't give a shit about golf, and for those who do watch, this is a thing. You know, it's a big deal. My favorite part about it was, I was like, damn, Tiger Woods is in Delaware. That's weird. You know what I'm saying? So anything major happening in this state is fire, especially because people act like they don't know who we are. So, you know, we got to get it done, and having it in Wilmington is pretty dope. Anywho, unrelated note, I fucking hate lanternflies. I talked about bees, but I hate lanternflies. I walk a lot, you know me, I walk a lot, and I look down just naturally when I'm walking. I avoid them like the plague. I know that I can step on them, but when you try to step on them, I don't. If you know, you know. But seeing them fucking red polka dotted fucks pisses me off, and something needs to be done. Anywho, we finally get to dive into the beginning of preseason for the rest of the teams, and we're on a week 2 of 3 because they changed the format. They got rid of a week, and the Eagles could not have given me a better start, in week 1 of the preseason. We, basically played against a scrimmage team in the Jets. The Jets know who they are, so I'm not even going to get into that. But seeing Jalen take what the defense is giving him, take the yards and let his, receivers and his running backs do what they need to do. The TD was bomb, and I think my biggest takeaway from that is A.J. Brown is going to be so vital for this offense. On that TD pass, if you look at it, he was about to run a post, and the corner decided, I'm going to follow A.J. Brown instead of following Dallas Goedert, who was just wide the fuck open, and to that corner who decided, I'm going to try to run Dallas Goedert over. Yeah, you got another thing coming, my boy. That's not going to happen. And he jumped over like 2 people backwards. I'm glad that the coaching staff knew, all right, it's time to get him the fuck up out of here. And you just can't do that. Also, to that fuckface, and I don't even know his name, who decided to hit my quarterback when he was out of bounds. Yeah, you should be put in prison. That's terrible. This was a huge lesson learned for that corner and for the linebacker who decided that it was cool to hit a quarterback while he was running out of bounds. That's ridiculous. Devontae Smith is back. I'm glad he's back. He was hurt. He wasn't able to practice. I heard he's been torching people in practice, and that's all I want to see. If you don't think that, okay, there's been a lot of Heisman winners who've been busts. I'm not gonna say Baker Mayfield, but I'm saying Baker Mayfield. But I mean, what do you expect out of the guy who set the rookie record in yards for the Eagles? Shout out to Big Joe. Yes, sir. And then, also should note that finally, shout out to Booba, finally, we got a legit linebacking core. They are top notch. Because his fucking pick was so nasty. You watch the film, this man sat back like, I dare you throw it here. And he did it. You got to love it. You got to love it. It almost makes me shed a tear because our trenches are top notch. Our cornerbacks, we got two really good corners. Bradbury. Stop it. Bradbury and big play Slay. And all we needed was just somebody to shore up the middle. And I feel like we have that. As I stated before, I don't want people to talk about us. I don't want people to be like, oh, the Eagles are going to be this. No. Zip them up. Don't talk about us. Don't say shit. When you about week 13, you know what? Doesn't matter. I know the people who were talking shit. I keep the receipts. Let's go, birds. Other NFL news, Aaron Rodgers continues to be a fucking dick. And he openly criticized his receivers, but not himself. Like, you know, he was like, yeah, that was... He threw a pass, and he was like, yeah, that was my best pass of the camp. And the guy dropped it, but he's a rookie. And, you know, he's criticizing, you know, his receivers on a national stage. That's not how you get it done. And it pissed me off that Randall Cobb was like, yeah, well, I told him that, you know, if you can't do it. So he's doubling down. That's his friend. I get it. But at the end of the day, these are things that need to be talked about behind the scenes. You don't go, you know, when they interview and say, what do you think is wrong? Just give me a generic answer and then have a meeting with them. You're a veteran. You know how this works. And I just don't get how that works. I wouldn't be comfortable with a person who's like, yeah, he's openly okay with saying you are shitty. That's ridiculous. Deshaun Watson gets his 11 games, $5 million fine. I'll say it did surprise me that he didn't get a year, and I don't work for the NFL, so I don't know how this works. But whatever, you know, evaluated 11 games, and I've mentioned it before, I understand it's a very sensitive subject, but listen, as an NFL fan, I don't want to keep hearing this man's name. I heard that because the Browns and the Eagles had a joint practice, but there's a cameraman just following this man around. Nobody wants to see him walking around. There's football on, my boy. What is going on? I don't care. This man is an idiot. There's still football to be played. But at the end of the day, go Birds. Baseball. So every time I get on here, I feel like everything that I've said before is the opposite. Like I was like, yeah, the Phils are jumping. Like, let's get it. But then now it makes me want to jump into a prickly bush. They lost the Mets series, and then they went 2-1 to the Reds. But the last game was 1-0. Where's the run support? So you look at a 1-0 game, it's like, okay, pitchers are pitching. Can I get a hit or two, please? I don't want to hear it. They got a series against the Mets starting tomorrow. There's no DeGrom, there's no Scherzer, and that's a prayer answered in itself. But recent Philly news makes me feel like this is not going to work. And I think there were 117 games in. Shout out to Matt. And they crushed the Reds 11-4 for their 10,000th win in franchise history. So that's fucking dope. Bryce Harpy, not the kid. Bryce Harpy should be back around September for a run. I hope they can just reel off some wins to get back in, you know, the thrill of things for the wild card, because we're not winning the division, but that's okay. These are the times where you're like, damn it, we didn't do it. But that's Philly. If you root for Philly teams, you understand what I'm saying. It's always the case. Continue to smash that bell. My only other two biggest takeaways from baseball is Aaron Judge is in the middle of a possible record-setting season. He's at, I think, 47 right now with 47 bangers, and he's almost at 60. I'm far away from a Yankees fan. I mean, like, far away. But if he does, I like sports history, so if he does that, that's fire. And he gave a middle finger to the Yankees, like, oh, y'all don't want to pay me? Well, this is what I'm going to do. Bang. I'm a big advocate for a player or a person, just a person in general, for getting money for what they fucking deserve. And the second one is Fernando Tatis Jr. Fernando Tatis Jr. This man is got suspended for 80 games for PEDs, and his excuse was that he went to a barber and got ringworm, and he used the product that they gave him. But the product that they gave him on the box says, this is a steroid. I don't give a shit where you're from. They put it in whatever language you got. You knew what the fuck you were doing. I don't want to hear it. He could have been better off saying that, like, he didn't have his glasses on, like he was missing his readers, and he was like, what is that? Yeah, I'm just going to take that. You're an idiot. You're a fucking clown. But that's that. And you're suspended. And the Padres, it's not looking good for y'all. I hate to see it. Liverpool! And I say that with the most enthusiasm I can, because 2 games, 2 draws against Fulham and Crystal Palace. Come on, man. I almost got re-depressed thinking about this, because we're supposed to have like the signings of Nunez and Diaz and all these other players, Carvalho. This should not be happening. I get it. It's a very early season. I get it. So many lost opportunities, so many goals that were given up that should not been given up, and it just makes me so sad. I think it hurts more because these are teams that are not going to be anywhere near the top of the table. We're in 12th place. That is garbage jug juice trash. I still want to get Luis Diaz's kit. He's the only reason why we're still in the game. We scored with them 10 men. So what do you think was going to happen after we come out with 11 men? But of course, Nunez had to be a fucking hothead, and I don't think he headbutted the guy. I think he was just mad, and he initiated it. We're not going to get into that. It is what it is. If we don't mid-season, if we're not top 5 or 4, I'm gonna need Mo Salah to take them fucking streaks out of his hair. It's weighing you down, my boy. But in all seriousness, we do have a lot of injuries. For me, Firmino, I need him on the pitch. And Thiago, absolutely. You hear the BarVibes. And it's very early, but we can't let Man City get too far away, because this is how we lost before, where we taking some draws. It was like 6 draws that year. Taking draws, we can't do that. But as always, up the Reds. My random song today is Happily Ever Ever by Case. I'm not saying this song because people don't know about it, but I had a legit debate about this music video, because somebody tried to tell me that Beyonce wasn't in it, and I was like, yeah, she was. Go back and look at it. YouTube is available to everybody. You could literally go back, and she was out there doing her thing. She was in this music video, and didn't believe me, look it up. I will just say the song is great. I'm an original R&B fan, and Case's runs are fire. Singers will understand. That's all I'm saying. My random thought of the day is, I don't understand how people are comfortable in thong flip-flops. I understand it's the summertime. I get it. No judgment, and more power to you. You can have, your toes separated in your shoes. I walk all day, and I feel like it will be extremely uncomfortable. I remember, listen, this crazy story. I was in the dining hall when I was in college, and this guy, it was probably like 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. He had to be drunk as fuck, and he took a step, and the thong John popped out, and he tripped for like a solid 10 seconds, dropped this whole tray. I was with Chris. Shout out to Chris. Shout out to Crizzle. He already knows who he is if you're watching this. And he dropped his whole tray, almost fell down the stairs. I'm like, yeah, I would never wear those. It's ridiculous. So that's crazy. And I knew that at that moment I would never be wearing thong flip-flops. My random player of the day is James White. He played for the Patriots. He retired after 8 years. Got some ridiculous stats. He's a 3-time Super Bowl winner. Check. He got the record for the most catches in a Super Bowl with 14. Check. But I think the most ridiculous thing is he played 8 years. A lot of starts. A lot of reps. He never fumbled. That is crazy. You never dropped the rock. That's as a running back, that's the one thing they ask you is don't drop the rock. So, that man did it. He did it. And he's still successful, and he's still healthy. So kudos to him for being like, yeah, I've done everything I needed to do. I know I'm not going to be a Hall of Famer. I got 3 of them things. Why not? My advice of the day, and it may be very cliche, Bars, but you never know when that tiny amount of support can, keep a person moving forward or motivate them to stay focused. I mean, whether it be a few words or, just a simple smile when you walk by them. Positivity is very contagious, and it helps. I promise you. I know that from firsthand experience. You never know when you can just say something or do something for a person where they're like, yeah, I can keep going. Like, I can do that. My booba does that to me all the time, and I appreciate her for that. And so I'm just saying, at the end of the day, do what makes you happy. And if you got that support, it only makes it better. That's what I'm saying. And all in all, big ups to the first state. Stay focused and be great. Take a sip. Much love from the kid. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your life. Stay chill. Stay